Namaskar, Namaste, Pranam, and before our reading of Bhagavad Gita, our meditation on Mother Bhagavad Gita. ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्. O Bhagavad Gita, with which Arjuna was delighted by Lord Krishna, Lord Narayana himself, which was incorporated in the Mahabharata by that ancient sage Vyasa. O Mother, O destroyer of rebirth and bestower of that nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism, the Advaita, and consisting of 18 chapters. Upon thee, O Bhagavad Gita, O my beloved mother, O my affectionate mother, I meditate upon. And now, let us also offer our salutations to Sri Krishna, the giver of this grand knowledge, the song celestial in the form of Bhagavad Gita, not only to Arjuna, but to the entire mankind. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Vande Krishnam Jagadgurum. Salutations to Lord Krishna, the son of Vasudeva and the slayer of Kansa and Chanura, of those demonical tendencies, and the heartthrob, the ultimate delight for his mother Devaki. O Krishna, O Jagadguru, O teacher of the entire universe, my salutations to you. And now, with Sri Krishna's blessings, let us take up the reading of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the first chapter, Arjuna Vishad Yoga. And we have read yesterday the first Shloka, which was a question asked by Dhritarashtra, the blind king, the father of Kauravas, the Kauravas who were so anxious to get into this war with Pandavas to claim the unrightfully grabbed kingdom from Pandavas. So that is why this war is going to take place. Both the armies are standing facing each other, and Dhritarashtra, the blind king, the father of Kauravas, is anxious to know what happened there at the Kurukshetra. And very fortunately, Dhritarashtra's minister, a very noble person, a very righteous man, Sanjay, bestowed with this divine vision, the Divya Drashti by Ved Vyasa himself. He is narrating now. He is going to narrate what has happened there at the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Now, Dhritarashtra, somewhere in his mind, there is a slight hope. Possibly his sons might win. Although they have snatched the kingdom in a very unrighteous manner. They are not the legal kings of this kingdom of Hastinapur. And now Dhritarashtra feels, possibly, let me know what happened there. possibly my sons, although evil-minded, possibly they could have won. So he is asking Sanjay, please tell me, Sanjay, what has happened there on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Dharmakshetre, Kurukshetre, and what about my sons and the sons of my brother Pandu? What has happened? And then Sanjay starts narrating what he has seen with his divine vision. Sanjay Uvacha Drishtva tu Pandavanīkam vyūಢam duryodhanastada acharyam upasangamya raja vachanam abravit. Drishtva tu Pandavanīkam. Sanjay said, Drishtva tu, having seen, indeed having seen, Pandavanīkam, the army of Pandavas, Vyūಢam, having standing there in array. Duryodhana stada. That then what Duryodhana did? Acharyam upasangamya. Acharyam is teacher. Upasangamya, having approached. Raja, the king. Vachanam abravit. He said these words. Having seen, now seeing the Pandava army arrayed properly in front of them, the Prince Duryodhana went near his Guru Dronacharya, preceptor, Guru, and spoke these words. Now, Sanjay actually starts with narration of, like Dhritarashtra has asked, what happened to my sons? And then he says, what happened to sons of Pandava? The words that he had used, Mamakaha. First he asked about his own sons. So Sanjay is replying about Dhritarashtra's sons. And he says, having seen the army of Pandavas well arrayed in front of them, the eldest son of Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana, what he did? He straightway went to his Guru Dronacharya, who was standing, of course, in his line of army. Dronacharya. Dronacharya was fighting for Kauravas against the Arjunas, although Dronacharya was the Guru to the both. He was the Guru to both Kauravas and Pandavas. And that's how Duryodhana, having seen that army, he came near Dronacharya and said to him. Now, Swami Chidbhavananda mentions in his commentary, it is but natural that a frightened child hastens to his parent for protection and encouragement. The frightened child is Duryodhana, and Dronacharya is a parent-like figure who has been their preceptor, who has taught them the art of fighting, who has been their great teacher. So Duryodhana straightway approached him first. That because he's the teacher, he has given them all the skills and the ways of fighting. So, it is but natural that a frightened child hastens to his parent for protection and encouragement. Even so, Duryodhana drew himself at a psychological moment to his preceptor, who was held by him like a parent. Now, in fact, talking about waging a war is a different matter. And when actually you are standing there as a part of your army in front of your enemy army. And what had happened? When Duryodhana decided to wage war, that we will get into war, both these cousins, they said, fine, you are not giving us our kingdom. Even Pandava said, let us get into the act of war. Whosoever wins enjoys the kingdom. So when this particular decision of getting into a mighty war was taken, possibly Duryodhana was not sure that Pandavas would be able to build up such a strong army. And when he saw that huge army arrayed in front of the Kaurava army, he was a bit frightened, and like a frightened child rushes for its mother's end of the cloth, to be under that cloth to save itself. Duryodhana went to Dronacharya. And even in Swami Chidbhavanandaji's commentary, he mentions that there was a specific purpose in Sanjaya pointedly using the word Drishtva, seeing, Drishtva tu Pandava Nikam. What is that? Duryodhana was fancying all along that it might not be possible for his cousins, the Pandavas, to mobilize such a huge army. So, Sanjay has very specifically used this word Drushtva. He had a look at the Pandava army, huge. Theirs also huge. Theirs huger in fact. But even Pandava army was quite large in number for that matter, which was not to the expectation of Duryodhana, and that's what actually frightened him. But what had happened was contrary to his calculation. He was a bit perturbed, Duryodhana. He was a bit perturbed and unnerved over this position. And Swami Chidbhavanandaji further says, the name Duryodhana has implied meaning he who is hard to combat with. Duryodhana. He is very difficult to get into a physical combat of wrestling. Very hard to combat with. But his guilty conscience had started a moral conflict within him. See, even a person of devilistic tendency, even a person of bad intentions, somewhere in the corner of mind, there is that part. Doesn't matter, even if it is a minuscule, there is a part of conscience. And that conscience, Sat Viveka Buddhi, had started conflicting with his evil tendencies. That am I doing right? Somewhere at the back of his mind. And under such confusion, that what happens? You look for some kind of a knowledgeable figure whom to approach and take shelter in. And that's why Duryodhana comes to his preceptor, his guru Dronacharya. And then he says the next shloka. So this is the second shloka that Duryodhana, also a bit perturbed, has approached his guru. Having seen the Pandava army, that is more important in this shloka. Drushtva tu Pandava Nikam. Drushtva tu Pandava Nikam Vyudham. Having arrayed such a huge army beyond his expectation. And Duryodhana is also a bit worried, and that's why he has approached their guru Dronacharya. And let us see in our next reading what Duryodhana says to his guru under that moment of anxiety, perplexity, under that moment of even fear, having seen the Pandava army. So this is the second shloka of the first chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swamiji.